Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Lucy, the Mindfulness Queen. I am a life and mindfulness coach, and it's my mission to help you step into a life filled with passion, presence, and purpose, and to help you connect more deeply to yourself and free your soul's purpose. I'm also the creator of the Mindful Fitness Method, which is a unique method of training combining mindfulness and movement. It's designed to help you step into a more present way of life, upgrade your energy, and as a bonus, get the body of your dreams. On my channel, you're going to find meditations, mindful fitness sessions, and trainings on everything mindfulness, spirituality, and health and wellness. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and show me some love. Thank you so much for watching. Today's video is around using mindfulness to improve your relationships. Now, this is a big one because we all want connection, right? Connection is everything. That's what we're all searching for. And this can't happen without relationships. So we need to be able to create fulfilling and lasting and healthy relationships. And mindfulness has transformed my relationships. And when I say mindfulness, I mean awareness. It's often confused with thinking mindfulness, but it's more the opposite of thinking. It's separating yourself from your thoughts. And when you do that, you create awareness around what is going on in your mind and how that might be impacting how you're showing up, how you're acting, your reactions and your responses to other people. So having this greater awareness is transformational in relationships, and it helps you to build deeper connections. And that is something that we all crave, we all desire. And having better connections with people, better relationships, is going to bring more purpose, fulfillment, passion, and pleasure into your life. The first point that I want to make is around the relationship with yourself. Now, you've heard it before that self-love is important, and you can't truly love somebody else or be loved by somebody else unless you love yourself. Now, this is so true. I can't stress this enough. The relationship with yourself is the most important relationship. The relationship with yourself is going to reflect all the other relationships, okay? So if you desire something from a partner and you're not giving that to yourself, how can you expect your partner to give you something that you're not giving yourself? How can you expect your partner to love your body, love you unconditionally, if you're not showing yourself your body love, if you're not loving yourself unconditionally? The first way to improve your relationships is to work on that relationship with yourself. Look at the areas where you feel like your relationship might be lacking, and then figure out if you're giving that to yourself. Are you lacking in that area as well, in the relationship with yourself? Start there. It all starts with self-love. If you fully love yourself, if you love yourself unconditionally, you're going to attract people who want to love you unconditionally. So how does mindfulness come into this? It's about awareness. Start noticing how you're treating yourself, how you're showing up for yourself. What is your inner voice saying to you? You know, how are you treating your body? Are you giving yourself the kind of love and attention that you want from your relationships? When you have this greater awareness, you can create change. It all starts with awareness. So this is why mindfulness, which is basically just separating yourself from your thoughts and from your reactions and your emotions, and doing this so that you can facilitate change and you can make different choices. The second point is being present with the people in your life as often as possible, being fully present and really seeing that person. And when I say seeing that person, I mean seeing their soul, seeing them for who they really are, not for their body, not for their mind, but for their soul. And to connect with someone in this way, to truly see them and for them to feel seen, you have to be present. The best way to do this is to come back to the breath, connect to the breath, and just do this over and over again. This is the ultimate trick in mindfulness, in being present. Use the breath as an anchor. So if you're in a conversation with somebody, practice mindful listening. Practice absorbing the words that they are saying. Your response to what they are saying is less important than your presence. Trust me on this one. If you're fully present with somebody who is speaking to you, they can feel that energy. They're going to feel seen. They're going to feel heard. You know what it feels like. I'm sure you've been there when somebody is checked out of your conversation. They're in their head. They're not listening to you at all. They're maybe waiting for their turn to speak, or they might even speak over you, or they're distracted by something. They might even be on their phone while you're talking to them. They are not seeing you truly. They are not hearing you. The best way to improve this is to be the one to take action and to come back to presence over and over again. Really, really see that person. See through the ego. See through the mind. See through the physical body. See past all of that to the soul. Be present with them as often as possible. This is truly transformational for relationships. Honestly, the act of just being present with somebody is more powerful than anything else that you can do. And it's really, really powerful to be truly listened to. The more that you practice mindfulness on your own, the more that is going to spill over into your relationships, the more you're going to really see that person for who they are. You're going to see past all of the crap. You're going to see past the ego. You're going to see past the stuff that doesn't really matter. And you're going to be more connected to them, more connected to yourself. This brings me on to point 3, which is to become aware of the ego. So the ego is your mind. We can look at presence and the ego as kind of opposites in a way, or presence helps us to transcend the ego, or to free ourselves from the ego, so to speak. We don't want to view the ego as bad. The ego's always going to be there, but as soon as we become aware of the ego, we take away that power. Now, the ego is your sense of self, and it's the thinking mind, and the thinking mind causes all of our problems. It's very powerful. It can be very, very helpful, but actually pure presence is way more impactful. Taking action from a place of presence is a lot more powerful than taking action from the mind. This is the difference between forcing and taking inspired action. The ego judges, the ego complains, the ego compares, the ego has to be right. So whenever you have that urge inside of you to be right, if you're in a disagreement or a debate or a full-blown argument with a partner or a friend or family member, that is your ego. That feeling, that really strong feeling that you get, that you need to give your opinion, you need to put your point across. This is the ego. Now, the ego is a very complex topic, and I could give you millions of examples, but awareness is the key. So I would urge you to do your own research on this topic of the ego, because when you start to become aware of and let go of living through the ego and coming back to awareness instead, and coming back to your higher self, which is the self that transcends the ego, this does wonders for your relationships. When you don't have that desire to always be right, or when you notice that maybe something that your partner said to you wasn't as bad as it perhaps felt, because it was your ego that was taking that on and being offended by it. Take the ego out of your relationship, and it's going to be transformational. It's going to be amazing, and it's one of the hardest things to do, but over time it becomes easier and it becomes freeing and empowering. If you can recognize when your ego is showing up any point in your life, but especially in your relationships, you're going to feel a weight lifted, a lightness, and you're going to be making space for more love and more joy and more of the good stuff to flow into your life. So ego work is some of the most powerful work that you can do for yourself and for your relationships. Number 4 is becoming aware of your triggers. A trigger is a reaction to something that probably doesn't align with the circumstance, so you might consider it to be an overreaction. We all have triggers because of things that have happened to us in the past, traumas that we've been through, really strong emotional experiences, and we haven't necessarily dealt with or processed what has gone on. So this energy is still in the body, and there's still a belief that has been held onto from this situation, from whatever it was that happened. And it could be a big trauma, it could be something a lot smaller. If it had a strong emotional response, then it counts as a trauma. Now, when something happens to you in the present moment and it triggers the emotions and the feelings from that event, because it's a similar situation or it makes you feel the same way, it's as if you are reliving that trauma. So it's very, very powerful. Recognizing your triggers means that you can heal whatever it was that happened to you in the past and stop being triggered, so you can stop having to go through that trauma again and again. Now, in relationships, this is a big one because you will get triggered by your partner a lot, especially if you've had relationships in the past and you had traumas in those relationships. Things that happen now in your relationship with your partner or with friends or with family members, any kind of relationship can trigger the same feelings. And if you're always being triggered by something small, that's going to impact your relationships, because you're going to feel like your partner has done something really wrong and they're going to be confused because they're going to think, I didn't do anything. Could simply be something that they say to you that is completely innocent but triggers this overwhelming feeling within you. Now, this is never going to end well, because you're going to think that they've done something terrible because of how you're feeling, right? You feel this strong emotion, this trauma is being relived. You're going to think they've obviously done something wrong to me. They're going to be on the other side of it thinking, wow, she's massively overreacting, and they're not going to understand what it is that they've done, and this can cause conflict. If you're constantly being triggered, you're going to think that your partner is doing something wrong, when in fact it could be that they're just being completely innocent. So being aware of your own reactions and triggers. So when you notice that strong feeling, like that really strong emotion come up in you, just taking a moment and separating yourself from what's going on and thinking objectively, is what just happened actually that bad? Did it warrant the emotion that I'm feeling? This is going to transform your relationships, but it's also going to transform you and your energy, and you can let go of that energy and you can let go of that belief. This gives you an opportunity to heal something that could be huge, that could have been holding you back, that could be really impacting your energy and your beliefs and how you're showing up in the world, your self-worth, how you love yourself, how you love other people. This could be huge. So awareness of your triggers is so powerful. So next time you have a strong emotional response in a situation, I want you to take a step back. Separate yourself from the situation, separate yourself from the emotion that you're feeling, and decide if it's warranted. There was probably an original incident and then many incidents that have that have strengthened that trauma. So getting to the bottom of this, as you can imagine, is going to free you up so much, create so much space, so much more lightness, and just improve your energy and your relationships so much. The last one is to do with giving, and just giving without the intention or without the expectation to receive anything in return. Now, I think that a big part of mindfulness for me is just compassion and kindness. If you can just give in any way that you can, give love, give service, and just be a kind and giving person as often as possible, compassionate person. Compassion means being forgiving and seeing people through eyes of love and through eyes of understanding and seeing their point of view. This doesn't mean you have to be a pushover and you have to do everything for another person, but when you do something truly for the act of just doing it to be kind, you don't expect anything in return. If you're giving and you're doing it from a place of truly wanting to make that person feel good, you're going to feel good as well. So you're not going to really want anything in return. Compassion and kindness is one of the fundamentals of mindfulness for me, and just awareness. And if you can bring a little bit more compassion, a little bit more kindness and forgiveness into your life and into your relationships, this is going to do wonders for your connection with others and for your ability to let go of things from the past that might be preventing you from developing deeper connections in your current relationships. If you're not forgiving people from the past and you're not seeing people through eyes of compassion, that's an energy that you're holding on to, and that's gonna be the energy that you're taking into your present and your future relationships. So this is going to be really, really beneficial in so many ways. In a nutshell, mindfulness is going to transform your relationship with yourself, with the people in your life, and it's going to have a massive impact on your ability to heal your past, let go of stuck energy and trauma and beliefs that are no longer serving you. And it's going to have a massive impact on the kind of relationships and people that you attract into your life from this point on. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Please show me some love, like and subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to seeing you very, very soon. Lots of love.